Just wanted to pop in and say hello. The energies in Melbourne, maybe everywhere, I don't know, but certainly in Melbourne, kind of reached a bit of a fever pitch. I think it was Thursday. And seeing the video of the lady arrested had quite an impact on me. And I wanted to talk you through what I did as a result, because it might be helpful to you, because undoubtedly, we're all being traumatized to some degree at this point in time. We're all being squeezed and pushed, and we're all feeling a whole gamut of emotions. And I thought that possibly sharing with you what I have done since to make myself feel better might be helpful too. So, firstly, and most importantly, I think it was Thursday night. No, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday night. So what I did when I felt that I was feeling really overwhelmed by this, and that I had like a lot of trauma was triggered. So I realized that firstly, my own trauma was triggered. Secondly, I was feeling into the collective, which I always do anyway. I'm usually pretty good with it. I mean, I've sort of had that ability for a very long time, probably always, but I've known what's been happening for a very long time, and so I'm pretty good with dealing with it. And I think probably what also happened to me was that genetic trauma was triggered just from what my own family members have been through in world wars. So firstly, and most importantly, I got off all social media. So if you feel like what could be being triggered in you, or what you could be feeling if you feel really overwhelmed with something, is the collective, if you feel like it's the collective, get off social media, because you underestimate the connection that gives you with others, the ability that the collective energy has to reach into your house through that is enormous. So turn off all social media, turn off the TV. And then I allowed myself to feel it. So I had a really gentle night. I had a fairly sleepless night. Yes, it was Wednesday because it was the full moon. I had a fairly sleepless night, which could have been that. And then in the morning I got up and I felt like I'd been hit by a Mack truck. Physically, I just felt like exhausted and like I'd been hit by a truck. So I made sure I stayed off social media, took it all off my phone, and there's a lady locally who is having trouble. She can't wear a mask, and I think she's also really struggling seeing people wearing masks, which it is confronting. So she put a shout out a couple of weeks ago for if anybody could walk her pooch at any time. So I've walked him before. I thought, right, I'm going to go and walk Snoops because he's beautiful and he will lift my spirits, which of course he did. So did she. While I was walking him, I met another local lady who is beautiful, and we had a great interaction as well. So I was already starting to really be back into my own experience of life. And that's one of the reasons why you want to get off all social media and disconnect from that collective, because what happens is you start to experience it through the collective, and then you can't differentiate between what's your feeling towards it, what's coming up for you to heal and transform, and what's collective. So you need to kind of separate that out, and that's a great way to do it. So I connected, I made sure I spent a lot of time in nature. I spent time with that pooch. Obviously I spent time with my own pooch, who you can hear in the background jumping around on her beanbag. And then I thought what would make me feel really good is remembering that I'm free. And so I actioned that memory appropriately. And that's what I've been doing over the last few days. Recognizing that, I've never forgotten that, but I can play into that as much as anybody else, thinking that I need to wait for something to happen, or that, we can feel like, we need to wait to be told that we're free. And of course we don't. And so I've been actioning that over the last few days. That's all I'm going to say about that. But, all of that has helped me to really get back into my power, really reconnect with the healing powers of the animals that are around us and nature, and just the stillness of nature. If you can get out of the collective crazy and just really plug yourself in, animals and nature will give you that in their stillness. Their stillness will just bring you back to that. And then you're really left with what's yours, which actually by that stage for me had, as much as all of this is unacceptable, but my greatest power, and I was reminded of this again, my greatest power in the message of this is unacceptable is in how I live my life. And I don't necessarily need a collective response reinforcing that for me or allowing that for me or doing it with me. Okay, I hope that's helpful.